Hey everyone, Reese here and welcome to the second channel once more. And in my previous video I had a bit of a life update type thing where I was just talking about how my business had been going over the past year and that kind of stuff. And I had a great response to that video, so that's great. That actually went down, thankfully, as I expected, rather than people taking things the wrong way, which is something I always worry about when talking about personal stuff. I am the kind of person who terribly overthinks things, so yeah, that's all good. But anyway, I mentioned in that video that I was actually planning to record something slightly different when I was recording that, and that I would probably sit down and immediately record the video that I was planning to do immediately afterwards. But I didn't, because the last part I had to do about 4 or 5 different takes, and then I was just annoyed with the whole thing, and so I just thought, sod it, I'll do it another time. And this is that time. So the video that I wanted to do and what I wanted to show you, which I'm sure you've probably already guessed from the title, is about my overhead filming setup that I've built. Now, this is a fairly recent development in my my little studio / game room here, and it's not something I've showed off in a video before. So when I, obviously with the type of videos that I do a lot of overhead top-down type shots, you know, repairing various bits of hardware and stuff like that. And the way I used to do that was with my tripod. I still use my tripod for the vast majority of my filming. But what I would do is set it up on the desk. It has a pistol grip head with like a ball head on it. So it can be set up in such a way that the camera is pointing straight down inside the actual legs of the tripod. But the problem with that setup is, because of the spread of them, it's kind of precariously balanced on the edges of the desk. And I'm also very limited on the size of things that I can put underneath that, obviously. Some of the stuff that I'm working on, like PCs and stuff like that, just didn't fit. So when I redid the shelving in here, I kind of always had it in the back of my mind that I would incorporate some kind of rig overhead that I could attach a camera and some lights to, and that's what I've done. I think the word rig is probably overselling it slightly, but yeah, so let's take a quick look at it. But just before I do that, I just want to very quickly go over my usual filming setup in here. I haven't actually done a proper tour of this room yet, other than that very first live stream I did when I kind of first moved stuff in here. I haven't actually done a proper tour of this room yet, so that's a video that I'm going to have to put together at some point. But the setup that I found that works basically consists of 2 of these LED panels. These are just cheap LED panels from Amazon, which I have on the curtain pole over there. You've probably noticed the state of the ceiling as well. There's probably an angle that would help to explain that, which is this. I originally had 2 of these, and as you can see, this one's actually starting to peel off as well. And the one that was on this side of the room just fell off in the middle of the night one night and brought a big chunk of the ceiling down with it as well. So I think that's some kind of thick, you know, filler primer kind of paint that's on there, and it's just taken a big chunk of that down. And I couldn't actually get the panel to stick to the ceiling underneath because it's got like a powdery coating that just doesn't seem to clean off. So I think that'll all need repainting at some point, but that's not really a priority. And yeah, so I use these LED panels, and I'll just show you what one of those looks like. These are something that I bought with my monthly Patreon income quite a few months ago, and I covered these in a projects and pickups video. So this is made by a company called Ralino, which I guess is just a cheap Chinese brand. And as you can see on the back, it has adjustable colour temperature and brightness. So yeah, colour temperature goes from a kind of yellowy colour, although my phone's going to adjust the colour balance as I go. And you can adjust the brightness on that. And the reason I'm showing you this is because this has a standard 1/4" tripod thread in the bottom. And the way that I've done this overhead filming rig, which you'll see in a second, is hilarious to refer to it as a rig. The way I've done this is it's literally a length of 2x4 as used in the construction industry, and it is held on either end by some clamps. I did want to come up with something a bit more permanent, but the cool thing about this is that I can actually move it anywhere I want along the length of the shelves either side. So if I wanted to film something kind of further back on the desk, I could do that. But at the moment it's just held on with some clamps, and the power situation is thus. So I have a power strip there That's one of the adapters for the LED panels. Obviously no point running them on the internal batteries when they're kind of in stationary in one position, although the batteries are handy. And up here I have my old camera that I used to use for my YouTube videos. So this is a Panasonic TZ80 compact camera, nothing particularly fancy or special. And this has one of those fake battery things in it, which is connected via USB to a USB charger over here, so that's just constantly powered. And the cool thing about this camera, oh, I should probably show how it's actually attached, which is a ball head. And these are very, very cheap, basic ball heads. I think I paid like a tenner for 4 from eBay. They come like this, and that just has your standard tripod thread on it as well. Like I say, that's 1/4 inch. And I bought some bolts, also from eBay, I think, which are just about the right length to go through the 2x4 and just leave like 5mm or so sticking out the other end. I was going to position them in a few different places, but I've just got the 3 in there for now, which gives me a little bit of flexibility as far as the lighting and the camera are concerned. And the cool thing about this camera is it has Wi-Fi support and an app. So here is my old phone. It's a OnePlus 3, an old Android phone. And this is the Panasonic, I forget what it's called, but image something or other app. And I can actually control the camera remotely. I can change the zoom. Also, if something looks like it's out of focus, I can just tap on it and bring it into focus, and I can start and stop recording using the app, which is really cool. And if the camera decides it wants to stop recording for whatever reason, because the card's full or it's just throwing a hissy fit, as it occasionally does, obviously I can see that on screen straight away, so I don't end up thinking I've recorded something and not, which has happened in the past before I started using the app. So yes, so I will show you how the LED panels attach to this, and there we go. So there we have the 2 LED panels screwed onto the ball heads on there. Obviously, being ball heads, I can change the angle of them however I like. If I want, obviously these have adjustable brightness, but if I want a bit more indirect light or something like that, I can just kind of angle them away. And also for shots to camera, I can angle these upwards slightly just to illuminate the background. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've gone for some slightly tighter shots in some of my more recent videos when I'm talking to camera, and the reason for that is because obviously I don't want to get that in shot, so it's kind of angled kind of like that-ish. Well, obviously we don't want the power strip in shot either. But of course that's all very easily removable if I change my mind and I want to do a slightly wider shot showing off some of my collection and stuff. And with those panels looking straight down, you can see that that's, I'm not sure if there's any visible difference there, but that's a lot better illuminated. Just helps the camera to get a much nicer picture and also keep it all in focus. One issue that I have had is that the desk is quite shiny, and you can probably see the glare on there. And so I did come up with a solution for that, particularly when I was doing my ST format video a couple of videos ago. So I'll show you what I came up with for that. So now they're attached to the filming plank, which is the technical term for this thing, using Gorilla Pods, which I usually, obviously I had them attached to the curtain pole with those at the beginning of this video. Very versatile little tripods those are, that you can use them to clamp stuff anywhere. Standard tripod mount on those as well with the standard ball heads, so you can use them for cameras and stuff as well. And longer term, when I'm feeling a bit less lazy and a bit happier with the positioning, what I'm going to do is, I actually have the bolts for this as well, is attach some ball heads just pointing downwards so I can have the lights either side. And the benefit of having them positioned like that rather than pointing straight downwards is that you get a lot less glare on the desk. Hopefully you can see the difference there. Not such an issue with this 2600 Vader here, because that absorbs all visible light, such as the beautiful black beauty that it is. So yes, I think that's pretty much covered everything. So let's switch back to the self-facing camera and do the outro bit. So there we go, just a small insight into my filming setup here and a solution that I came up with for a particular problem that I was having with filming that overhead stuff. And this room's on the small side. I did do a tour very, very early on. And essentially it's 2.3 metres by 2.9 metres. Yes, I am reading that off a screen because I can never remember, which is 7'6" by 9'6". I'll put a link to that video up top somewhere if you want to check that out. It's quite a fun thing from March 2020. So yeah, it's over a year ago I did that tour, and the room has completely changed since then. And I don't know if that's helpful to anyone. Obviously I'm very lucky in a way in this small room that I've got the shelving all the way around the outside, so I can attach stuff to it. You know, the cameras and lights and stuff using those Gorilla Pods, but also makes it practical for me to have a plank of wood stretched across the room above my head the entire time that I'm filming, but maybe it wouldn't work for you. So yes, as is the tradition with a Reese Rambles video, I'm now at the point where I am rambling like a madman, and you're probably sitting there watching thinking, what the hell's this guy on about? How much longer have we got left? You know, just end the video already. So I think that's a good point to end the video. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support as always, and I will hopefully see you again in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to watch my Amiga 600 video, which has just gone up. It's very interesting. I'm an Atari guy, as you know, and it has my first impressions of the Amiga 600, and it actually turned out better than I expected. So yes, I'm done. Bye bye. See you next time.